Welcome to Quick Shots, a short format traditional archery podcast, where we introduce you to some of the world's most influential traditional archers, and occasionally, some random dudes. What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to Quick Shots. I'm your host, Mick Chambers, and today I am sitting down with Grizzly Jim. This guy needs no introduction. So without further ado, hit it! Hey everyone, and welcome back to Quick Shots. So today's an exciting episode. I'm Mick Chambers, your host, and I'm here with Grizzly Jim. Hey Jim, how are you?
I'm good, thanks, Mick. It's good to talk to you. Actually, it's nice. I feel like I'm in good company. You've had all the cool people on, so
it's a little surreal for me. I'm going to be honest with you. It's a little surreal for me. I mean, honestly, I blatantly ripped off your entire shtick for my YouTube channel.
Well, that's fine.
I think you're amazing. I think you're amazing. First of all, let's get that out of the way.
Oh, that's cool.
Sorry.
I'm glad someone still likes it.
It's really awesome, man. It's really awesome. So we're talking to you. You are where now? You're in UK?
I'm in England, right in the central bit of England. Just about 20 miles away from what is considered the dead center point of the UK, which is pretty cool. Yeah. A place called, it's just south of Birmingham.
Okay.
In the UK. It's a crazy place here right now, I'm sure. Like many places across the world, nobody really knows what's going on, but
where are you guys right now in terms of lockdown?
Well, they've just done some. Our government keep putting these very confusing sort of things out, and no one really knows what's going on. There's 3 levels of lockdown. I don't know where we are.
Well, are you able to get out in the field and shoot at all?
I can now. We couldn't for a while. Everything was just shut down. That was horrible, but things have started to open up. My main archery club's opened up again, so we can go down there. We've just, long story, but we kind of got kicked out of our 3D club. Politics and weirdos, but
No, I've lived that. I empathize with you. Our 3D archery club here too. It's all about politics, and
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, I wouldn't mind it, but we just spent the past sort of few months putting in a 3D course and sort of putting it right. And as soon as we've done that, they're like, off you go. So we've just joined another great. It's a bit further away, but it's a much better course, much bigger wood. So there's that's good. I haven't managed to get down there properly yet though, but yeah. So that's quite exciting. New club vibes.
Yeah, but it's a lot of work. But I mean, when you get the new club vibe, you get in there. Hopefully, we're going to see some video of you out there shooting.
Oh yeah, as soon as we're all sort of settled in and stuff, the guys I shoot with, they all help out with kind of like my videos and stuff, and they're always doing sort of bits of camera work for me and things, and they're like, hey, that'd be a cool shot. I'm like, film me.
Your production value on your videos is it's like unbelievable. I don't know if you got a drone now. I think you got a drone and everything now.
The last 2 little videos I did, a video production company, professional video production company, were just like, can we do some stuff for you? They're just starting up, so they wanted interesting things to film, and I'm like, you seem interesting. Can we come and tag along with you for a day? I'm like, yeah, sure. I'm not camera shy, and they followed me around for a day. They did a little bit in the workshop while I was making strings, and then followed me to the woods. And the gear they had made my stuff look like crap. Really bad stuff, but the guy George who filmed it really knew what he was doing, and it was fantastic. I'm just waiting for him to sort of finish editing the last little sort of project we worked on.
What can you share with us a little bit on what your latest project is?
It's just a mini documentary, really. It's nothing. It was more of a test piece, really, just to see what could be done. And he wanted to try some shots, but we did sort of like a series of interviews, and it's a lot of voiceover, just talking about how I got into archery, what archery means to me, kind of my kind of philosophies on it and stuff. So yeah, I mean, it's nothing major. It's nothing. It's, you know, it's not going to rock the world or anything. It's you know, it's not. It's not the push. It's not the push video.
Oh, it looks beautiful. So if you know the listeners haven't gone to your site on YouTube, the first part is up there. Your origin story, which I thought was fantastic. Little trailer, yeah. And it mentions your origin story, and it's a great story. I mean, I can kind of relate to it. I mean, when I was a kid, my dad gave me a bow. Your dad gave you a stick and string, and you know, you walk through and shut. Yeah, it's kind of all of us kind of share a little bit of that story. We got there somehow, right?
Yeah, and I love whenever I go places. I'm a talker. I always talk to people, and I love hearing stories about how. Like one of the questions I always ask someone is like, "How did you get into archery? What brought you here?" And some of the stories are amazing. Like there's a lady, you should get her on. I think her name on Instagram is Searching for Arrows or something.
Oh my goodness! Can you stop? She's already been on. She was here before you.
Well, there we go.
Great. No, she's great. Searching for Arrows is great. Peggy,
her story is
Penny.
Penny. That's one from her husband's boat. It just, oh man, that just
gut wrenching.
Yeah, do you know, it's probably where I heard the story, actually. I don't know.
You maybe it's free.
Maybe. It's been a bit foggy for the past few months. But yeah, I mean, that's such a story. I'm like, oh, geez.
Yeah.
But I love stuff like that. I love finding out how people kind of got picked up the bow, because everyone's got a story. Everyone's, you know.
I agree with you. I mean, and that's one of the reasons I'm doing quick shots. Just, I don't care about anyone else. I don't even really care about you guys. I want to meet you, right? It's for me. It's all about me, Jim.
That's fine. You deserve it.
It's really not. I love you guys. Like everyone I've met has been super phenomenal. And everyone anyone that I've talked to has said, hey, you got to get Jim on the show. You know, we want to hear from Jim. So, I mean, you're still amazingly well thought of, and the reason I say it still is because we didn't see you at ETAR because we couldn't have ETAR, but we would love. I mean, I cannot wait to see you there. Hopefully next year we can do it.
The plan was always to go 2021. We were going to have a little archery trip in Europe this year. Didn't happen, obviously, and then next year was going to be ETAR again, because that was just so. It was amazing. It was one of the single most amazing experiences of my life, and I can't wait. It's like archery mecca. Yes. I didn't know what to expect. I watched a few videos before I turned up, but you can't prepare yourself for just the level of traditional archery that's just. Especially, you know, little guy from the UK, just sort of coming off, stepping out the car, going, "Oh wow!" It was amazing.
I know you're not. I mean, I'm sure it's got to be a lot of pressure on you though, a little bit. We talked a little bit about this with Flea too, because you know when people recognize you, and then you got to go shoot next to them, and then they're like, "Oh, hey, wait, that's Grizzly Jim. That's Grizzly Jim. Watch this. Do you get that? Do you get that? Do you get the pressure? Do you feel pressure when?
I felt zero pressure at ETAR. Absolutely no pressure whatsoever. And it's something. Pressure is the problem I have. My mental game is incredibly weak. You can throw me off my game so easy. The second I try, it goes wrong. But there was no pressure at ETAR. It was, and I shot great as well. There was, I just come off the back of the World 3Ds, which was a bit of a not a bad experience, but it wasn't the best of experiences, sort of archery wise for me.
Yeah.
But I turned up, sort of. I was on a really low ebb archery wise. I just wasn't. I was really struggling. My archery was struggling. Everything was just a bit of a mess. And then I turned up at ETAR, and all that went away, and it was just the most amazing, carefree experience. I put on about 12 pounds. walking around from campsite to campsite. He's like, "Hey, you're Grizzly Jim. Have a beer. Have some venison. This is I took this, last season, and I just walked around drinking and eating and shooting, and it was brilliant."
Yeah, that I mean, I haven't been, but I've heard that it's like
you've got to go.
It's like it's just a big love archery fest, and it's kind of like Woodstock for archery.
Yeah, it's just mind blowing, and it was so kind of humbling as well. I was walking around, and it became a bit of a joke in the end. Like Flea was like my tour manager, but there's people like, and I was just it took me ages to get anywhere just because I was chatting to people, and I had no idea that many people kind of knew who I was. I suppose it's a niche audience, and everyone's there, but it was mind blowing. It's so humbling as well, just to meet so many amazing people.
Let's dissect that. So really quick, I'd like to dissect that a little tiny bit. Like, you honestly, people love you. Like, I have never heard anyone say anything bad about you, and I know I'm just kind of blowing smoke right now. But they do.
Clearly,
they
never
do.
read my comment section.
Yeah, no, I've read it. There's always those internet people, right? But there's so many people here's what I like about watching you, and I was drawn to you immediately, your channel, and why I'd always watch everything you put out, because you're non-judgmental is what I feel. Like you're I'm not saying you're political, but you're really not judgmental. You're just giving when you say something, I feel like you're honestly saying it to me, right? I really like that about it. I appreciate that about you. So I love it.
I appreciate you appreciated it. I've just always been through the whole thing. It was Archery Adventures. I kind of set it up with my buddy Percy, who's a famous jazz musician now. He was in a lot of my early videos and stuff. And I was like, if I'm going to do this, I don't ever want to be a dick.
Yeah, no. A dick.
I don't think I am a dick.
No, you're not.
I just try and, archery means a lot to me. And I just enjoy sharing that with people and just having fun. And I've always said, as though I treat archery with the utmost respect, all the respect that it deserves, but I will never ever take it seriously. It's never been a thing that I've had to take seriously. And the one time I did have to take it seriously is the one time I hated it. It's just this weird thing where it's because I enjoy it so much. I don't need to feed anybody any crap. I just, it is what it is. I've done it for such a long time. I've learned what works. I've learned what doesn't. What works for me anyway, not necessarily what's going to work for everybody else. But it's just the way I kind of look at archery, and I just hope all I want to do really is inspire people to pick up a bow.
And you've done that for sure. And then once they've picked up the bow, they actually go to you to learn and understand a few things too. So I think that's important too. You got to keep that, because it's tough, anyway. Right? What's that? Sorry, Jim. Sorry.
I'd say I'll help anyway, or at least I'd try to help someone.
You do. Well, you absolutely do. I love how modest you are too. That's awesome. But I do want you to be a little bit braggadocious. I always appreciate that because you know what, you're not that type of person. I don't feel like you're that type of person, at least from the videos, and this is the first time meeting you. So, but I really do like your personality. I think we share a lot of stuff in common, which is really weird because, I'm also in this bear bow community too, which they're starting to get a lot more serious, even though they're considered the fun part of archery. Competition archery, they still get they're pretty serious about their stuff. Right. And, I call some of these guys the stoic sort of archers.
Yeah.
I'm just not that guy, man. I'm like, don't suck the wind out of it for me. I just want to have fun. It sounds, all your videos, all things I've seen from you, is just, you're having fun, man.
Well, that's what I try and do. It's because archery is fun. I mean, that's why we picked up the bow in the first place, because it was fun. It seemed like a fun thing to do. And when I first joined a proper archery club, I'd just go out and I'd shoot and I'd come back in. I might have missed every single one of my arrows, but I still had a good time. and I'd see people coming in like really sour-faced, grumpy-looking people because they, they were 5 points off their personal best or something. And I'm like, but you've been shooting. But that's just the way my mind works. I mean, other people are in it for different things. Other people, like a friend of mine, she's a gap shooter, filthy gap shooter. And I always tease her about it. Yeah. But she's got a really, really kind of mathematical brain. She's all about the numbers, and that's the way she enjoys archery. That's the way she approaches it. I've got like a lizard brain. I don't really think about anything. I just do it. And I guess that's why kind of instinctive archery works for me, because I don't have to think about it. I can't judge distance to save my life, but if I can see something, I can hit it. It's weird. It's just, I was called like a maths brain and lizard brain type of thing, but that's just how I approach it. I just enjoy it.
Now you did have a form change. You went from split finger to 3 under, and are you back to split now, or? Or am I getting that wrong?
I originally started when I was a target archer. I shot split finger, but when I sort of got back into trad, I don't know, 15 years ago or something, because I'd had a decent break, I went back 3 under, and then maybe about 5 years ago, I decided to go to split finger, and I've recently gone back to 3 under. And it's the only consideration is it's nothing to do with being able to aim or anchor or anything. All it is shooting split finger, because I shoot generally quite short bows. It's quite an acute angle on the string. Yeah. And I get a lot of pain in one of my fingers shooting split finger. Yeah. So I dropped down to 3 under, and the pain's gone. My hands are screwed up anyway, just making strings. I've probably got another 2 years of making strings.
Oh no!
Sort of like Crab Man or something. But
so you heard that, everyone, get your orders in.
Get them in now.
Get them in quick. Get them in quick. You're gonna
before they become a collector's item. But yeah, it's the only consideration was just comfort, really, going back to 3 under. Oh, if I could choose, I would prefer to shoot split finger.
Yeah,
but just I think it looks cooler.
Yeah, I do too. I think it's really neat, split finger, and it's nice that you're shooting instinctive. I think that there's, as soon as now there'll be like a million comments under this, split instinctive, no such thing. Please don't leave those comments, people. It's embarrassing for you.
It's an argument I'm bored of having.
Me too.
It is what it is. And
I'm a filthy aimer. Yeah. So like I three under, I string walk, I aim, but then I like to play with a lot of different bows and different setups. So I'm looking right now. I just got a brand new longbow from Omega Archery here in Pennsylvania. Beautiful bow. Keegan, great archer, great bowyer. And that's going to have a Grizzly string on as soon as I talk to you. Because I need to get a new string for that. So I got to get it this year before you retire.
I've got a couple of years left before fingers start falling off.
Okay. So I like to shoot that one too, like sort of instinctive, and with wood arrows. And then I've got my bear bow that I string walk, and I do an 18-meter game. So anyway, point is, I like to play with everything, and so I'm never going to get good at anything. And that's kind of my problem, right? So, but I still love it. I enjoy the sport. I enjoy talking to people like you.
You just got to shoot what puts the biggest smile on your face. Yeah. And I couldn't care if that's a compound bow or a bear bow or a trad bow or whatever. As long as you're shooting, we can get out to the woods and we can have fun doing it. It doesn't matter how you do it. I mean, some of my best friends are sort of aimers, gap shooters. I mean, of course, I wouldn't let my daughter marry one, but they're out there, and it's fine. It doesn't matter how you get the arrow to the target, as long as you enjoy doing it. I don't really care. I do it my way. Someone else does it a different way, and that's all that matters. I think if people spent less time arguing in comment sections and just got out to the woods, they'd probably ultimately end up being better archers at whatever way they do it.
And you know what? I mean, I think when we're beside each other on the 3D range or in the target butts, you might have arguments online, but I mean, once we're there, when the rubber hits the road, it's usually everyone's really friendly. Isn't it always the case, man?
Yeah.
Hey, that's a good segue. So what are you currently shooting? I mean, I know you're in lockdown, but what do you currently shoot, and what's your favorite bow right now?
See, I should obviously be saying the Grizzly Jim signature series,
Of course,
from Striker, but the bow I'm actually shooting is the RK1,
oh yeah,
which is also from Striker, but it's an aluminium riser.
Yep.
Which it's first time I saw it, I was like, not into that. Do not like that at all. First time I shot it, no, I'm not into that. Give me wood any day. But I kept sort of going back to it, and it's a beast.
Yeah,
it's an absolute.
It's a beautiful bow.
I love the RK1. I mean, my signature series, which is a Striker Stinger, like a custom version of the Striker Stinger with just some chubby dude's signature on it. It's a beautiful bow, and I love it, and I will always love a wooden bow. But right now, I'm just having a little bit of fun playing with the RK1. I've got some really light poundage limbs on it. Because I messed up my shoulder a few years back, and it's started grumbling again a few months, like 6 months ago.
So careful.
And it sort of caused me a bit of problem. So I'm just shooting some really light poundage.
What do you mean by light? Is that 30 pound or
30? Yeah, that's bang on 30.
Okay. Yeah, no, I mean, again, if you're having fun, you're able to shoot it more.
Yeah.
That's what I don't know how people are enjoying. Like I talk to a lot of people that, not a lot, but I talk to some people are like, yeah, I'm shooting 55, 60 pounds. Like, dude, are you enjoying that? I mean, is that fun? Because it just seems like it's work to me.
Well, 10 years ago, I could shoot a 55-pound bow like it was butter. Like, it was no problem at all. But as I got older, as I sort of started working in the archery industry, you don't get to shoot as much. And if you're not shooting as much, you're not getting. So there's been a steady decrease in poundage over the past 10 years. I want to get back up to 40, 45. I'm perfectly happy there. But just even dropping a few pounds, it made me realize how much being in control of a bow can really help. If you're fighting the bow, if you're struggling, you're not getting the best out of it. You're not going to be the most stable. You're not going to be in control of the bow. The bow's going to be in control of you. So dropping a few pounds is never a bad idea, really, if you want to improve sort of form and accuracy.
Absolutely. Yeah, good point. Excellent point. I mean, I mean, a lot of people that listen to this are just starting in archery. What sort of advice would you give someone like that's just starting out? I mean, low poundage bow is a good one.
Yeah. You've got to be able to, in my opinion anyway, completely dominate the poundage that you're shooting. Okay. If you can dominate that poundage, you're in complete control of it. If you're in complete control of it, you'll shoot it well. Mm-hmm. And then, you want to step it up incrementally, which is why it's a bit difficult for the trad shooters, because it's dependent on the bow. You can't always switch the limbs out, which is why a bare bow rig's quite good, because you can, if it's an ILF system, you can sort of pick up cheap limbs and things and keep flipping and going up the scales that way. But just work on being in control. I think that's an important thing. I mean, it's not a popular opinion, but it's a bit of a macho thing sometimes, poundage. But
I'll put subtitles in here, guys. Don't worry. He said macho. And it was aluminum. So we'll get those all corrected.
Oh, we can do a list. We'll do a list.
You're so right. And you know what's really great here too. And just on that point, I want to add something to that. We have a really robust used bow community, like wanted ads and stuff like that. It's really robust in the United States. So anyone that's listening, I know Jim made a great point. An ILF riser, it just allows you to change out the limbs, or even anything that's like a 3-piece bow allows you to change out the limbs and move up and be comfortable. But it's hard. Like if you're going to go out and you really want to get into archery and you get a nice striker, for example, well, you're spending 8, 9, 10, 800, 900, $1,000. It's tough to change that bow out. Now here, there's a robust aftermarket a used market here. So it is, you can get some pretty good used bows here. So, but that being said, I mean, it's just a great point. Would you say you have to be in control of it, or you had to dominate? You have to dominate.
Yeah, dominate the poundage you're shooting. If you're in control, I did a thing a while back about the 5 C's of archery.
Yeah,
one of them is control, being in control of your equipment and control of yourself. It's an important part of archery, just being able to shoot it with. I mean, if you're at full draw, you're trembling, you're all over the shot. You know, the slightest bit of movement this end is huge down the target end. It's crazy. So just be in control. And even just, I've noticed with my shooting that the first time I went out, I haven't even got my arrows sorted out yet. I'm shooting arrows that are way too stiff.
Yeah.
But just the groups just instantly tightened up just because I was in control. I wasn't fighting the bow anymore. I was, I've lost a lot of strength over the past 6 months, and it shows. I'll get back up there again. I'll get strong again. You know, as soon as we can put all this craziness behind us and just get back to kind of normal again.
Let's hope so. I mean, I don't like to talk about it too much, but it would be nice to have you over here across the pond, see you at ETAR. It would be nice to just for everyone just to be able to get out and enjoy, some 3D archery. Jesus.
That's the thing. Just being out in the woods with whether with thousands of people at ETAR or just a couple of buddies somewhere. It's amazing.
We're not in the US. We're not doing a great job of social distancing because I mean, like we just had a major 3D tournament on the West Coast. And so, there's hundreds of shooters out there. So we haven't been doing really great, but it is what it is. And so anyway, I think that it's hard. It's a little bit easier for us. But I do feel your pain. I don't know if you know this, but I'm actually Canadian, but I live in Kansas now. Yeah. And one of the things that,
I spend a lot of time in Canada, actually.
Yeah. Well, hey, I want to talk to you about that and I want to talk about Canada too. Your show. So I think the very first time I saw you, I was like, oh, good. This Canadian guy is talking about archery. I can't wait to listen to this. And I was like, why has he got a British accent? Oh, well, that's pretty common. They moved to Canada. Like we allow British people in there too.
Yeah, they let them in.
Yeah. I'm like, but then it was obvious that you're not in Canada, but you have like a plaid shirt on. You have hockey skates in the background. Yeah. I think even a hockey stick or something. Yeah. I'm like, what is going on with this? So that was kind of strange. Why is that?
I've got family in Canada, over in Burlington, Ontario.
Yeah.
I grew up playing ice hockey.
Really?
So yeah.
So do you still play? You don't play?
Oh God, no! I haven't played since. It was just about 10 years ago. So just after we got married, I stopped playing. Actually, no, it wasn't. I tell a lie. It was. I then got into. When we got married, I got into coaching, and then we had my son, and then I kind of couldn't.
So how old are you now? Do you mind me asking?
I'm going to be 40 next year.
Yeah, you're still a young man. I still play hockey. I still play.
You have to. It's the law, right?
Well, in Kansas,
you've got to play till you die. It's
in Canada, it's not, or in Kansas, it's not. But I love hockey. It's great. It's a good sport. It's fun, unless they get chippy, and then I'm like, I'm not interested in that. Yeah. But it's good competitive sport. It gets my aggression.
I love it. It's the best sport in the world as far as I'm concerned, because I don't consider archery a sport. That's why.
Is that right? Okay.
Archery to me, it's never been a sport. To me, it's just been something I do. I've never considered it a sport.
I was talking.
It is a sport, obviously.
No, well, so maybe because maybe not, because that's a good conversation to have. Because to be honest with you, I think of archery as a martial art.
Yeah,
and there's sports like judo is a sport, right? But then people say, well, judo is not a martial art. Then so when you add the sport concept of it, then it becomes a sport, and if you take it away, it's a martial art. And so if you're not competing, you're having fun, and you're doing stuff like what you and I are doing, it can be a martial art. Think of all the training you've done, Jim, over the years.
Yeah, terrible amounts.
Exactly right. And it's
But yeah, I mean, it's weird. It's obviously it is a sport, and I've competed, at an international level at it. So yeah, I'm aware that it's a sport. But to me, it's never felt like a sport. It's never felt like, even when I'm at like a little local tournament, I don't feel like it's a sport. I feel I'm just out in the woods with my buddies, and that's when I do my best. The second I start thinking of it as something I've got to perform at, it goes so bad.
I know. I'm here with you, brother. I am so here with you. I'm like, I went to the they called it the World Championship here, and it was just maybe 3 months ago or something like that. I just had the worst.
Is that the IBO?
The IBO World Championship, yeah. IBO World Championship was in Tennessee. I drove down and I just did a terrible job. I mean, I felt almost embarrassed, and then I was like, man, I don't like archery. And then I just, so kind of the same things you were saying in your video after you had come back. It's like, I felt the exact same thing. And I was like, oh, wait a second. No, I do. It was just a day. It was just a day. Yeah. And then I went out the next day and I shot so much better, kind of redeemed myself a little bit. But the first day I missed 4 targets on the course, on a 30 target course. And I was like, I could never recover from that.
Exactly what happened to me at the World 3Ds in France. First 5 arrows were misses. And at that level, you're not coming back from that.
You can't.
I actually shot pretty well after that, but I was just such a chunk down. And my friend who I went with on the plane, she was just like looking at, she's into numbers and stuff, and she's like looking at the scores, and she's like, do you know what? If you'd have just scored 8s on the arrows you'd missed, you'd have finished in the top 16. So you could have potentially gone through to. I was like, don't tell me this.
Why would you say that?
Why would you? And she's got this evil look on her face. I'm like, you. But yeah, but at that level, there's no coming back from kind of that. No. So it was weird at that point. I kind of stopped caring, and then I actually enjoyed myself a little bit more, knowing that there was no pressure. So
yeah, you let the pressure up.
It's probably a similar thing to you. It's
yeah,
because you put your first, if your first arrow on any tournament is a miss, it's going to make or break you. It's either going to you go, okay, right, I need to sort this out. Let's move on and do it, or you just compounds and it just becomes a whole issue, and then you're just a gibber and wreck at the end of the day.
I think creative minds. So here's my theory. I think people with creative minds, we're not great at going, well, that was one shot. Now I forget about that. I'm going to the next golf hole, target, game, whatever it is. No, we're still thinking about the last thing we did, because we're trying to I don't know if what we're trying to do. We're trying to go over in our mind so that we don't recreate it. But by doing that, we recreate it at the next shot.
I would say you can't change it. It's done. Unless you've got a time machine, there's nothing you can do about that shot.
No.
The next one over from the one you're on now, that's the future. You can't do anything about the future. You just got to concentrate on what you're doing in the present. That one arrow that you're shooting right there. That's the only thing you should be thinking about, not the arrows either side. But it's easier said than done. I can say, well, this is what you got to do. But I'm just like anybody. I put in a bad shot, 3 targets down. I'm still thinking, that's such a bad shot. Why did I do that?
I think the moral of the story is, archery is fun. It doesn't need to be upsetting. And mentally, people that take it really seriously, that's great. But, as long as they're having fun and that's what they love to do, then let them do it.
Yeah.
Hey, I do want to talk about a couple of the other things that you do as well. So let's talk about strings first of all. Yeah. So I love Flemish twist strings. I just love them. I love exactly what you say. It's just like, they just fit. They just look like they fit.
Look good on a trad bow.
They look great.
And 80% of archery is looking good.
Yes. Did you say only 80%?
80%. And so is the other 20%.
Yeah, so is the other 20%. Okay, I agree. that I agree.
You look good, you'll shoot good.
Absolutely. It doesn't matter if you shoot good if you look good. So why did you get into making strings?
I went through. I've made them for years, just messing around. But the reason why I kind of got into it is because I kept going to this one shop, and I had this bow. It was I remember right, it was a Ben Pearson. I think it was a Cougar. I think it was a Ben Pearson Cougar. And I phoned up the shop and I've got this. I said, I've got this bow. Can I get a string for it? And they sent me a string and it was the wrong size. And I said, no, it's the wrong size.
Oh.
So I sent the string back. They sent me another one. It was the wrong size. And I was like, I've measured it. I need one exact. I can't remember the exact how many inches it needed to be. But I said, the bow is this length. The AMO length of the bow is this. I need a string, an AMO string for this bow. Actually, this length. I gave him all the information I possibly could. And it came back and it was wrong. I was like, oh, jeez. So I just thought, there's got to be an easier way. It can't be that hard. So I bought a string jig, and it's the same string jig I'm using now, about 7 or 8 years on. It's falling apart, but it's the same jig. And I taught myself, me and my buddy Percy, who I used to do archery ventures with, we just went down to the club one day and we bought like a couple of spools of Dacron, and we're like, right, we're going to learn to make strings. And we just did. It sort of came. The first one I made was absolute garbage. So was the second one, and the third one. But it started to click around about the fifth or sixth string. And yeah, it started just making them for my friends and whatnot, and just sort of plodding on. And then I kind of I got the job at Merlin. And the strings kind of fell by the wayside. I didn't really have time to make them anymore. But when I eventually left Merlin, I was like, well, maybe I could do that for a bit, just to tide me over till I can sort of find something else. And yeah, that was like nearly 5 years later.
And you make the do you call them puff balls?
Yeah. I've just got I mean, I'm terrible at advertising. I've changed the wool I use, I use merino wool now, which is
nice.
It just rejects water. It's puffy. First couple of shots, you just get a mouthful of fluff after you've shot them, but once they've shot in, they just.
I'm cutting that for my Instagram. Yeah, that's going to be in the Instagram video promo for this one.
It's got a ball full of fluff, mouthful of fluff. But yeah, I put the string silencers in, and do it all. It's one of those things like making strings. It's easy. You can teach anyone to make a string, but it's the repetition of getting the twists right and the twists even, and it's anyone can do it really, but it just takes a lot of time to kind of learn.
Sure. But I mean, and then so you got going, and it sounds like you've had a ton of success with that. So and everyone I've talked to says they're great strings. So just go. Again, you only got 2 years to get a string from Jim, so better hurry up and get one. And then you went into just recently coffee, Grizzly Jim coffee. So tell us that story too. I mean, like I was like, where's this coming from, man? Like we got this Black Rifle Coffee Company, and then look at that.
Sorry, I just picked that up.
You did. Okay,
sorry.
Product placement.
If I move it over here. I've always been a big drinker of coffee, and Black Rifle Coffee Company as well. I kind of look at their stuff, and in fact, I'm friends with one of the guys, Logan.
Logan. He's an archer, right?
Yeah. He's
a compound.
He's my Instagram friend.
Yeah.
So yeah, kind of a big deal.
Actually, Logan was Logan just on? He was on some podcast. I forget what it was. Stickboat Chronicles or something. Anyway, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah.
Shout out to Logan.
We got to get a proper bow in his hand though. Yeah.
Yes.
That's for sure. But it was kind of lockdown had just happened, and things were just really uncertain. I was like, well, no one can do any archery, so no one's going to buy any bowstrings. So how am I going to pay my mortgage? And I've always loved coffee. I've always loved that kind of like the kind of marketing side of things of coffee, and I just think it's a great product. And a friend of mine who's in the coffee industry, I got talking to him, and he says, "Well, I know a guy that can import some stuff. I know a guy who's got his own roaster. Let's work together. Let's see if we can get sort of some, see if we can get you a coffee brand. I was like,
absolutely,
let's try it. And we went through hundreds of different blends trying to get the kind of the perfect blend, which I think I've done. We've got a really, really tasty blend, and it's really just something that I've wanted to do for ages as a bit of a passion project, but it kind of, the lockdown and stuff kind of forced my hand to say, let's just try it. Let's dip our toes in the water and see where we end up. And lo and behold, it's been quite popular, and
so is it available here in the US, right?
I ship to the US.
Okay.
I'll send you a bag with your string.
Well, yeah. Okay. When I order my string, you got to help me out with that, because I got this beautiful bow. I want a beautiful string on it. And so yeah, and I'll order some coffee too, because I love coffee. I just been lazy though. I gotta be honest with you, Jim. I'm kind of lazy. I'm kind of a Keurig lazy coffee drinker.
Instant.
Well, not instant, but what I'm talking about. It's got the pods.
Oh, the little like Nespresso thing.
Yeah.
I've got one.
You got those things for?
No, not for my coffee. Just
Well, I got a little thing I can put it in. It's a little, you stuff your coffee in there.
You can do that. That's just as good. It's lazy, but it's just as good. The best coffee is the coffee that takes time to make. You gotta.
So, are you doing a pour over then? Is it what? How are you making yours?
Well, it's kind of versatile. It works as an espresso, but it works as a drip as well. Nice. It works in a cafetiere French press thing. It just covers everything. But it was designed really to kind of be cooked on a fire, sort of out in the woods. That was kind of like the kind of whole vibe with it.
Yeah.
That's what we like to do. Like mostly during the winter, when we go stump shooting. Yeah. We go into the woods. We get up a fire going. And we brew up a cup of coffee, go shooting, come back, brew up another cup of coffee, cook some bacon, just spend a cold day in the woods eating, shooting, and drinking coffee. And that's kind of why I came up with the Grizzly Jim Coffee Company. Just kind of could fit in with that kind of thing. Everything I do is just because it's something I would want.
No, it's good. It's good. It fits the brand. It fits your brand perfectly. I love it. It's a great idea. Is it a dark roast or is it? I don't want to get.
It's a medium roast.
It's medium.
It's medium, but it's really smooth. Really smooth.
Now, when's the Grizzly Jim English tea coming out? When's that?
That's next month. You gotta drink it.
Yeah, tea time. Because then you got people drinking it twice a day, right?
Yeah.
Hey, no, I love it. And I'll definitely, it'll be nice if people don't know that you have that available, they can just go, what's it, grizzlygym.com?
grizzlygym.co.uk. Unfortunately, I couldn't afford grizzlygym.com. It was 80 grand.
Oh, seriously?
No, I'm not worth it.
Why would it be that expensive? Is it someone that's selling it?
I don't know. It did at one point. If you typed it in, it would take you to this weird little haberdasher, somewhere. Haberdashery. Yeah. But yeah, it was listed on a site, and I was like, no, I'll just go with .co.uk.
Okay, let's go back to UK Canada tie-in connection. So you say that you're a friend of mine, Alex Melnick. I think he's in Burlington, if I'm not mistaken. He might be in that area. So is your family in that like aunts, uncles, or?
My aunt and cousin are there, right in Burlington. They've moved to Stony Creek or something like that.
Yeah, I know where Stony Creek is too. Yeah,
they've moved there, but they were right in Burlington, and spent sort of quite a few sort of summers in Canada as a kid.
That's fun. You went to Niagara Falls, obviously, just being right there. And,
we were, one of my favorite ones. We went. It was 2001. It was September of 2001. We flew back the day before 9/11. So that was a bit crazy. But yeah, me and my buddy, we went there for 2-3 weeks, just bumming around Canada, just
fun. Did you get up and down Ontario? You're all through Ontario, or just like Toronto area and stuff?
Just Ontario and Toronto, really. Every day we'd get up, get on the GO train and just go somewhere else. So one day we go to like Mississauga and have a little mooch around there, and then
That's
come back.
awesome.
Yeah, it was great. Just
That's
we had some friends at St. Mike's College.
Yeah.
So we hung out there and just.
That's awesome. And I might, my daughter is looking for school. She's thinking about going to U of T, University of Toronto. So
yeah.
That'll get me back home a lot more. I try and get home as much as I can, but during COVID we can't. It's 2 years, 2 weeks quarantine. Sorry, 2 weeks. And then we actually visited your island. I want to say like 3 years ago now. It's 2 years. 2 years ago. Yeah, your little island there in the UK. We loved it, dude. I literally, we're Irish background. So, I have family in Wexford, Ireland. And so, my mom was always like, yeah, I'll go back to Ireland, see Ireland. And so we thought, well, we should go to England too, because we're so close. So we ended up going to London first. And then I was like, no, I just want to get over to Ireland, because I didn't know anyone. Well, I knew one guy in England, in London. But anyway, I got there. I gotta tell you, man, I would go back in a heartbeat. I loved it there. I love England. I love England. It's beautiful. It's really nice.
It's okay.
No, it's not. It's fantastic.
I'm quite lucky. We're sort of about 8 miles one way. You're right in the city centre, but we are just literally on the edge of the countryside. So it's quite. We're sort of semi-rural here, so it's quite nice.
Would I have gone through there on the train to where's the ferry that goes to Ireland? The Port Head or something like that.
You might have
kind of went around
along the bottom, maybe. I don't know.
Anyway, it's beautiful. I loved it. Ireland was nice too. For my Irish listeners, loved Ireland too. Don't hate me for loving England. But yeah,
there's something nice about flying back from the US, and you kind of, once you hit Ireland, England, you look down, it's just green all the way, and it's kind of comforting.
It was so beautiful. It was a beautiful. So it's funny. I had to take a flight from, and I know people, if you want to tune out, that's fine. We're just kind of shooting the shit now. But I'll edit
an archery podcast, right?
Yeah, I'll edit it. No, it's about getting to know people. But I was like, so I came into Manchester. I had to fly into Manchester for some reason, but it was fun. It is such a great start. I mean, so the pilot. So we come into Manchester, it was great. And then I thought, okay, well, I got an hour to catch my other flight to London, which, if you know England, it's not that far, right? It's like,
well, to us it is. To you guys, it's not.
No, but it's like a 40-minute flight, right? I think it's supposed to be like a 40-minute flight. You probably never had to do it, so you wouldn't know. But I mean, it's like 40-minute flight. We got in the air. So we got in the air, and he comes on the thing, and he's like, and I'm thinking, I just want to get to London, man. I'm so tired. He comes on the air and over the things. Hey, we've got a lot of. This was a busy day, so we're going to slow down. We're going to take our time getting into London. Like 2.5 hours later, we flew around the whole island, and then we were going so slow. I literally thought we would fall out of the sky. I could see everything. Low and slow is what this guy was doing. It was the weirdest thing ever in a plane, but. Anyway, we got there. So I thought it was funny. English pilot, they're very matter-of-factly about stuff. It's funny. Matter of fact, yeah, if we're going to do this, don't complain. Anyway, I liked it there. You guys got a nice little place. I love it. I love England. Okay, so who's your favorite? Like, do you have a favorite? Do you have a mentor, I should say? Do you have a mentor that you look at and go, yeah, I want to shoot like that, or I really like that person's archery form?
I don't know. There's aspects of loads of different archers that I really, really like. And a friend of mine, he's mentioned several times, is old Jeff Kavanagh. He's a good friend of mine, and he's been not so much as a sort of, I don't know. He's helped me out with a few sort of issues I've had, and he's putting me in the right direction. But he's probably the closest thing I've got to a mentor, because I'm completely self-taught. So
really,
I've learned bits from everybody. But when I was learning, we didn't have YouTube or anything like that. It was just there wasn't really any books. The only books that I could really get hold of were target archery books, like Olympic archery style books,
me
or
too.
books on the English longbow. So I kind of had to sort of have like a bastardized version of the two, and sort of try and work out what I could do. And yeah, it was weird. Sort of, I didn't have any of the resources that, like, people today are kind of lucky. There's that much out there. There's so many resources for people to kind of to sort of learn from. It's amazing. But yeah, it was tougher back when I was a kid. But you know, I did have an old video, and I think I don't know, it must have been on TV at some point, but there was a documentary about Fred Bear. Oh, and I used to just watch that over and over again. Till, I mean, Fred Bear is a sort of bit of a hero of mine, but you can't understand what he's saying at the best of times anyway. But this tape had just worn and worn and worn, and he was just completely inaudible. But it was just this cool dude shooting, and so much so that I tried, when I first sort of tried shooting properly, I was trying to do it left-handed. Because I was copying from there, but that didn't last long. That's the way the guy in my video does it. So
yeah. Are you, when you play hockey, are you left-handed in hockey, or are you right-handed?
No, I play right-handed.
Okay, so you have the stick. Okay, all right.
The stick, the top of the stick in my left hand, but I should really have it on top of my right hand because you got more control.
Yeah.
I just keep on with it. So.
Yeah, and then yeah. So okay, so then Fred Bear's playing, but I want to be left-handed. That was great. And there's so many good archers that are left-handed. I can't get over how, I mean, there must be something to do with your brain that, when you shoot left-handed, you just are good naturally.
I just cannot. I've tried it. Can't stand the left-handed people I think it's selfish. I mean,
it's selfish.
You see a left-handed guy with this beautiful bow. I can't shoot that thing. It's just selfish.
That's selfish. That's because they didn't grow up in a Catholic school where the nuns would beat it out of them. Like, I mean,
smash them on the wrist.
Yeah, absolutely.
One of my seminars a couple of years back, there was a guy who bought an original Ron LeClaire shrew. Yeah, and I've always wanted to shoot an original shrew.
Yeah,
and he turns up with this shrew, but it's left-handed. I'm like, oh God, come on, that's not fair. And there was a buddy of mine who just got a brand new striker as well. That was left-handed, but it was stunning. And I was just, I can't shoot these things. That's not fair. You're not.
Yeah, I know. I people are left-handed. So weird to me. They got a little bit of devil in them or something. I don't know what it is.
Look at Lee. I mean, she's not right.
She's a southpaw. She's a southpaw. My buddy Alex, who I was telling, that's in Burlington area, he's a southpaw.
Andy, Nocturnal Archer.
Andy, the Nocturnal Archer, southpaw.
Just can't trust him. Just cannot trust him.
I don't know. He was a little untrustworthy on my show too. That's true. I know. I'm thinking about. He's a good dude. All you guys are good. I'm having it's pretty international now, this quick shots thing. Even though we've been talking for an hour, it's supposed to be quick.
I'm sorry. Just two versions. I told you I could talk. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. Everyone, I'm joking. I talked to you for like 14 hours. I've respected and liked you for so long, and it's just nice to meet you. And you've done so much so quickly, and it's really cool. I love that you have a brand. And so just for everyone, what was that website again that we can get? Where do you order strings from? Where do we get your strings from?
You can go to grizzlystrings.com.
Yep.
But that'll take you through to grizzlygym.co.uk.
Okay. Grizzly strings. So that's the strings. Those are Flemish twist strings, and they come with puff balls. They're really cool. He's got new
puff balls.
You got to order them? What?
Yeah, you got to order them with puff balls.
Yeah, so order them with puff balls. They're really cool. Apparently, people love the puff balls too. I'm gonna order one. I promise. Right after this podcast, I'm ordering. And then because I want you to see the bow after the podcast, I'm gonna show it to you. And then for coffee, where can they find your coffee?
Same place.
Okay,
it's just a product on the website. And
then you are Archery Adventures on YouTube.
Yep.
And on Instagram, you're Grizzly Gym. That Grizzly Gym or
Grizzly Gym, yeah. It's that Grizzly Gym pretty much on everything.
Yeah.
But my Instagram game has just become so weak just lately. I just,
dude, you have 3 kids at home. Do not stress yourself out about this stuff. You have some grace. Trust me, you have grace for all the awesome stuff you've done. And you have some grace. So just relax.
Thank you. It's nice to hear.
No, seriously, there is not a person that is listening to this or has seen your latest video or anyone would say otherwise. So take your time, get back to it though. Seriously, we want you back on.
Yeah, I do feel like I've kind of had my head kind of buried in the sand for it. I mean, the whole global situation hasn't really helped anyone, really. But we're getting back to the swing of things. Like I say, we've joined a new club now, and they're really friendly. And you know, I filmed at this club before. They used to let me go and film there, you know, before I was a member. So I know the woodland. It's really, really beautiful wood in sort of on the outskirts of Leicestershire. So it's, nice. But yeah, it's I'm looking forward. Just need a nice weekend that I can go with the guys. And
so how far are you away from Sherwood Forest?
Sherwood Forest, probably about an hour, 20 minutes. To us, that's a long way. To you guys, you drive that far for an ice cream,
coffee, for ice cream. Yeah, yeah, that's great. What a beautiful country that was. Oh, well, hey, so I just want to thank everyone for sticking around this long with us. It was pretty amazing. Again,
yeah, I'm sorry. It's not focused. I keep taking things off track. I'm sorry.
Stop being like that. This is fantastic. Anyway, check us out on Instagram. I'm archery underscore geeks on Instagram, and then of course YouTube, Archery Geek on YouTube. But thanks everyone.
Are you an actual geek though?
I am a real geek. I'm like a D&D playing archery guy, you know, that I just geek out on all this stuff.
There's a lot of us out there.
I know.
I'm not admitting to anything, but
yeah.
I can see something that you can't see right now, and you'd like it.
I'm gonna see that after we hang up here. All right, guys. Thanks very much for being with us. Take care. Shoot straight, and be safe, everyone.